All right, Sam. So I'm I'm very uncomfortable right now.
Okay.
I don't know what this world is. You were very excited when we got this car. To me, this is just a giant toy.
Okay.
So why don't you tell us what we are in?
We are in a Honda Civic Type-R, which is basically the creme de la creme
Right.
of a Civic,
Okay.
sitting in your hot hatch segment,
Okay.
and it's just fantastic.
Okay. So for those of you who don't know, I know nothing about cars. No, wait, that's a bit extreme. I don't know anything about this genre of cars. So Sam's going to take me through that today, and we're going to figure it out. You want to start on the outside?
Sure.
Okay, let's go. All right, Sam, show me the Type-R.
What more could you say? Stunning, fantastic, but let's dive on deeper. Obviously, super aggressive front end with your front lip spoiler. You even have the intercooler for the turbo here. You've got Type-R badging, you've got LED headlamps, you have functional air intakes also here. And not to mention the exhaust for basically the engine to basically take the heat out of the engine as well. Wrapping onto the side, if you notice, the arches are just huge because the track width of the car is that much wider. You've got 19-inch 265/30 wrap tires. That's 265, folks, like huge tires. In a Michelin PS4 I mentioned, which are fantastic as well. Brembo brake calipers, massive discs, some functional aero again on the sides here. And then you've got the side skirt as well, channeling air down the side of the car. Same on the rear, 265s, 19-inch rims. A whopping big black spoiler. If you get the top trim spec, you get it with carbon fiber instead of just the plain black. And LED tail lights, although not completely LED. If you notice, the turn indicator as well as the reverse light is just a regular halogen bulb. And then heading on down to the bottom, you've got this really nice diffuser with a signature 3-tip exhaust pipe. Yes, they are real, they're functional. They're just gorgeous. I think it's really kind of grown up from the previous generation. The 5th generation was a little too boy racer. This is kind of matured like a fine beverage.
You can say wine. It's
Fine
okay.
wine.
You want to show me what's under the hood?
Sure, let's have a look under the hood. So under the hood, you've got 2 positions as well for mounting. If you want to up out of the way. This is your intake that goes into the airbox, that goes into the engine. You've got a nice turbo located here. And all those Honda fans will notice it still just has a single fan for the radiator, which is somewhat unique given we're in such a hot climate. You would think needs more fans and cooling, so kudos to Honda for doing such a fantastic job in that regard. And yeah, easy to work on, lots of space, everything easily laid out. Yeah, shall we jump in and check it out?
Let's do it.
So, as you open the door, you're greeted with Alcantara armrests, which is gorgeous.
Nice.
And signature red carpets and red bucket sports seats that are also in Alcantara, which are just super comfy.
So much red.
Yeah, super
So
comfy.
much carpet.
Hold you in place, and you've also got red seat belts as well, which is just gorgeous.
Oh.
It's really nice.
Okay, let's get in. All
See
right.
what I mean about the seats?
Yeah,
Comfy,
so
but
nice.
they hug you. They're just like, oh, gorgeous, gorgeous. Alcantara wrap steering wheel, folks, like beautiful. Just,
so nice.
It just feels so good in your hands. Materials-wise, interior, you've obviously got signature again Type-R aluminium shift knob. Again, we mentioned the other spec. Basically, you get 3 changes with the other spec. You get the carbon fiber spoiler. You get a carbon fiber shift knob, and you get those each to their own tacky puddle lights with the Type-R logo.
Okay.
I personally hate them and think it looks super cheap, but each to their own.
Fair. So only the knob is carbon fiber?
I have not seen it,
Okay.
but it's a carbon fiber knob, which, granted, I went to fill up some petrol earlier on today, and this was ballistically hot, as
Right.
is in my personal car, because I also have an aluminium shift knob. So
Right.
maybe a little like Honda Cozy to put over your shift knob if you park your car outside. And this
Okay.
sort of brushed aluminium effect also gets particularly hot.
Okay.
You've got wireless charger, dual zone climate control. Just everything about this is so thought out, so simple. It's just incredible in that regard. Like, look at the AC vents. It's like, it's not overcomplicated.
Yeah, I mean,
but the design is just beautiful.
this is just perfect.
Beautiful.
And like even this whole mesh over here with the Type-R, this logo over here, so nice, so high quality. It feels amazing. It feels so good. There's no rickets and rackets, and you know, everything feels like it was made for this car. It doesn't feel like there's a part from somewhere else. So nice, like even here.
I mean, although it is basically a Civic's interior, except like
I understand, but
there's
it's
a basis.
high quality. You don't like, you see it as soon as it's
Yeah.
there. Like even here, even these buttons. So
Yeah.
much, so much feedback. It's so nice.
I mean, just I was telling Danesh earlier, like if you look on the instrument cluster in the center, you've got an image of the car. Now, when you indicate, it even illuminates on the car itself. If you put hazard lights on, it does the hazard lights.
Yeah.
If you push the brakes, it does the brakes.
Yeah.
If you put the lights on it, like just those little subtle details is like amazing, amazing. Like I really like. We've had experience with several different cars over the past few months. You can kind of tell it's like, okay, what do people want options wise? Okay, well just pack it in there, pack it
Right.
in there. There you go. You wanted CarPlay, you get CarPlay. You want this, you get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas this is like, no. Hang on a second. I mean, it's Honda at the end of the day. How many years of experience do they actually have?
Yeah.
And with the 6th generation Type-R as well, like they know what they're doing, and just those little attention to details and how everything is integrated, beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful. Shall we take it
So-
for a drive?
Let's go. So it's a manual.
Yes,
First
I
of
can
all,
see that.
It's only available as a manual.
So basically, I can never own this car.
I mean, you could. You might learn to drive a manual at
Highly
some
doubtful.
point.
Highly doubtful.
Fair. So
I can see you car enthusiasts judging me. Don't judge me. I don't need a manual.
so
Never gonna want to own a car like this. Carry on.
I mean, I have been driving a manual car for the last 10 years, so there are those enthusiasts out there. So yeah, manual, 6-speed,
Okay.
315 horsepower, 420 Newton meters of torque, which is whopping. Front wheel drive though.
Okay.
So that's
Not
People-
great.
it's not about being not great. It's just a driving style or handling characteristics that you could love or hate.
Okay. So why would Honda go for front-wheel drive when someone like you or a car enthusiast would prefer rear-wheel drive?
So it all comes down to just driving characteristics. It's not a case of like front-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive.
Okay.
One is better than the other. It's just what the driver prefers. But from a packaging standpoint, the engine, the axles, the gearbox, everything is in a compact package,
Okay.
all in the front, makes the car lighter, more agile. Like if you go and drive, say, a Golf GTI or a Golf R,
Right.
you will inherently feel that the Golf GTI is lighter and more nimble,
Right.
because it doesn't have an all-wheel drive system. It's not as heavy and all of that. And it's also Honda's heritage DNA
Okay.
that they have not, they haven't really produced. Like the Civic is their, their icon, their baby.
Right.
It's always been a front-wheel drive. So purist enthusiasts will be like, what the heck are you doing? You can't,
Oh, like a Honda can't be.
It's hot. You got to think it's a hot hatch, right? Hot
Right.
hatches were kind of souped up regular cars. This is now 2023, so it's taking it to that whole new level.
Okay, so tell me more about like the Type-R-ness of the car. What is the Type-R badge? What does that get you?
Okay, so Type-R badge, a couple of years ago, they obviously switched to having turbochargers.
Okay.
So performance is, you know, leaps and bounds above the regular Civic.
Okay.
It's manual only. You've also got your driving modes. That's not, you will have your sport and your thing, but it doesn't adjust, say, anywhere near as much as this. So if I go into, say, individual mode,
Right.
I can then hold, and it will give me engine that I can customize, the steering I can customize, the suspension, the engine sound, rev matching.
What is rev matching?
So rev matching is, okay, I'm currently in second gear,
Okay.
fourth gear, and now I just downshifted to third. I didn't blip the throttle
Right.
to match the revs. The car literally did it for you. Again, if you're a purist, you can turn that off.
Right.
But it makes you look good.
Okay.
And it makes driving more aggressive,
So
easier.
From my understanding, it's a bit of automatic in manual shifting.
It's basically, so if you're shifting from fourth to third,
Right.
the RPMs will need to be matched in order for the car not to jerk all over the place. So the car basically automatically
Adjust
does
that for you.
It's called rev matching.
Fair enough. So over here you've got engine, steering, suspension, all of these. So this is a fully customizable experience to your preferred liking.
Yeah, you can customize it basically as much as you want.
Okay. So and then is there like so this is this the one mode, or are there other modes as well?
So you've got sports mode, you've got comfort mode, you've got individual mode, and then you have R plus mode.
Okay.
R plus mode is basically everything in the most aggressive setting.
Right.
Even the instrument cluster is going to change. You get more, you know, a rev style gauge, and you even have shift light indicators.
Okay.
So if this bus would lovely, you know, move out of the way, maybe I'll just change lane and you can see that in...
Nope, he heard you.
He heard me. He definitely heard me. Okay, I'll downshift so it'll rev match. I didn't blip the throttle to rev match.
Right, okay.
And then if I change lane again, you can see the lights on the dash will light up.
Nice.
So, and the steering obviously is way more weighted. You notice it's a bit more bouncy. Luckily we have fantastic roads, so you can drive around all day long in R mode. No issues.
Fair enough.
But
that's pretty cool. I mean,
yeah.
So it's, would you say, I guess this would be something that we come to kind of in the end, but the customizability of the drive would definitely be something, would be one of the reasons people would look at this car.
Yes, I think it offers the driver sort of, this car is all about customizing it to you.
Right.
So from, you know, those features, if you go into Honda Log R, you have a ridiculous amount of telemetry. You can monitor your oil pressure, you can monitor temperature, water temperature, your G meters.
Oh my God.
Like intake temperatures, like, and this is all customizable. It's not a case of like, oh, this is set it and that's it. You know, you've got that. It's just really well thought out of for an enthusiast at the end of the day.
I can see that. I mean, to me, this is all Spanish. So that's, for those of you who don't know, I don't speak Spanish. So, but I mean, it's amazing. For me personally, to see a Civic go up to this level is something I haven't experienced before.
Yeah, and I think in essence, they've kind of really encapsulated that driver-orientated experience. This isn't a vehicle that like, it'll do everything for you. Manual,
to
start with, but just, you know, driving it in a more spirited manner. It's not a case of, oh, it'll just do this and it's absolutely perfect. You know, it does take a bit of driver input. The brakes are fantastic, but then you go, okay, so it's going to be too aggressive for like a daily driver, you know, I'll keep it for the weekend. No, not the case. Slap it in comfort mode. I'll also show you it's got, I think, probably one of the best lane keep assist feature.
Right.
Like on a Type-R, that would, you know, purists would be like, oh, it doesn't need any of that. But its level of, you know, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde
Yeah.
is just so opposed, because like last night I put lane keep assist on, it's got adaptive cruise control, put it in comfort mode, it's quiet, it's not, you know, any uncomfortable, and you just poodle down the road.
Nice.
You're gonna get good fuel economy. So this really is an everyday vehicle that
Right.
you can just live with, you know. It's not a case of it's a horrible experience and it's too aggressive, and not the case.
No, I mean, listen, the one thing that kind of popped out to me as soon as I sat in the car, and this is something we discussed with the interior part as well, which is that it's just, I don't know how to explain it to someone who's watching us. It's just so perfect, and like everything is so in place and it's so high quality. And the part that baffles me, and I guess this could be something to discuss, is at the end of the day, this is a Civic.
It is a Civic.
Right.
Yeah.
So is that a good thing? Is that Honda showing you what a Civic can be, or is that...
I think from a customer perspective, the guy going in and just buying a regular Honda Civic is not the guy buying this. But then I was having this discussion with a friend just last night, and it was a case of, I find it weird from a psychological standpoint.
Okay.
People go, oh, it's just a Civic and you need to pay X amount of money for it.
Right.
Compared to, say, a Volkswagen.
So wait, just for comparison, how much is this car?
So the car starts at 199,900.
Oof, 200,000 dirhams.
Yes.
Oof. Okay. And okay, so coming back to what you were saying. So you're saying that, let's say if you compare this to a Golf R.
Yeah, if you compare this to a Golf R, that is just basically a fancy Golf, right? It's the sporty option, it's got all the performance and the tech and all of that lot. It's a Golf at the end of the day. But I find, I don't know, people are able to stomach that more and be like, yeah, I can pay 200K for a Golf R.
More, much more, because I think a 160 or 170 is the GTI.
Exactly.
So that part baffles me a bit more. But where would you, okay, forget about the other cars. Would you say that 200,000 is a good price?
We had this conversation before, right?
Right.
Pretty much everything in this day and age is 200K-ish
Right.
for something really, really nice.
Right.
So, yeah, for me, I think I just look at it based on how much you're paying, what are you getting.
Okay.
It's a little bit overpriced.
What price would you hear and be like, that's worth it?
I'd say the 170, 180 mark.
Okay, that's fair. I thought you were going to say 160, so that's fair. That's fair. So that means it's not too far off.
Yeah.
That means if you could find maybe a little pre-owned or a good deal.
Speaking of that, I did actually look. Pre-owned is going for brand new for like 170, 180,000.
Oh, that's great.
With like 4,000 or 5,000 on the clock. So
that's great. That's awesome. That's nothing. I bought my car 6,000 driven.
Yeah.
So that's
brand
fair.
new car,
That sounds
safe
good.
Depreciation.
Yeah, that's great. So okay, so you're saying that's where the sweet spot hits.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. So we've got a extremely well-tuned, well-made Civic. Type-R. You say that this is a good car if you can get it just a bit cheaper than its actual price, which is at 200,000 dirhams. What's the extra little stuff that we didn't discuss? What else is there in the car?
I'd also like to add to that.
Yeah.
This is probably one of, if not the only vehicle that gives you the most raw driving experience in 2023. Like the steering feel, how you're, what's going on under the tires, like the communicative aspect, that has just died in most vehicles.
Cars, right.
But yet it has that, and then it has that transitional aspect of integrating features, like little things, like you've got brake hold. So you're in a manual, you're on a hill, or you get to a light, oh, I've got to keep my foot on the brake. No, that niggle is, now removed, because it'll hold the brake for you, and seamlessly you push the clutch, accelerator, it disconnects the brake, and you're off and away.
Right.
Same thing with like interior. You've got Bose 12-speaker sound system with a subwoofer, pump the tunes, chillax,
Right.
Nice infotainment screen.
Yeah, it's a
Nice.
decent size, 9 inches. Yeah.
It fits. It's a little bit on the smaller side.
Yeah.
It's got CarPlay,
Yeah.
but then like
But to be honest, I'd rather have a 9-inch that looks good and as clear as this than have like an 11-inch with like a weird.
an inch.
Yeah, exactly. Which isn't bright enough and stuff like that.
Exactly.
So that's there. The screen in front also looks pretty okay.
Yeah, I think the screen in front is like I say a 10-inch. You
Yeah.
have like I say the shift indicator lights above, but it's just like I say that seamless integration which you can really appreciate that it's so refined. Like
Fair enough. Fair enough. So that was everything I could possibly learn about the Civic Type-R. If there are more things that you'd like me to know, let me know in the comments. And don't forget that we have a small little channel and we're really trying hard for it to grow. So anything you do, like, comment, subscribe, and obviously click on the notification bell helps us get more content for you. So until then, this is Sam. Sam, thank you very much for the tour of this world I don't know about. And my name is Danesh, and we will see you at the next one.